breaking news from ABC4 News.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Rick Aaron. We have some breaking news for you now. The medical flight carrying Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, the Utah Jazz players who have tested positive for the COVID-19 virus, has just landed in Salt Lake City. The twin-engine Cessna Citation took off from Oklahoma City at 5:24 our time for the 2-hour, 20-minute flight to Salt Lake City International Airport. We're going to take you live out to the airport where ABC4's Brittany Johnson is standing by. Brittany, what's happening?
Well, Rick, that plane just landed, and I want to show you right over here. A police car just came by and an ambulance just drove past us just moments before you took us live here. Again, we are awaiting to see Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert come off this plane. We received some information that they are on this flight from Oklahoma City. Now, just to give everybody some background information, Rudy Gobert tested positive for COVID-19 Wednesday night, just before tip-off against Oklahoma City Thunder. That game was canceled. The entire Jazz team was tested. Now, early this morning, we got the news that Donovan Mitchell had tested positive for COVID-19. He is the only other player on the Jazz team that tested positive besides Rudy Gobert. Now, we know a chartered flight with the Jazz team members landed earlier today. We received word that Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert were not on this flight, and we do have reason to believe Mitchell and Gobert just landed here at the airport. They flew separate from the team. Again, just landed moments ago. Just before we went live, we saw a police SUV drive past us and an ambulance drive past us. Now, Rick, I'd imagine that Mitchell and Gobert will be treated like the 3 other Utahns who tested positive and will need to be self-quarantined. But again, we are out here at Salt Lake International Airport awaiting the anticipated arrival of Jazz stars Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell. Rick?
All right, Brittany, yeah, those players in a quarantine situation now since those tests came back positive last night and this morning. Good to hear that no one else from the Jazz team, coaching staff, or staff itself had a positive test there. The rest of the team did return home, as Brittany said, from Oklahoma City earlier this afternoon. The Jazz coaches, staff members, and players, except for Gobert and Mitchell, were on this airplane. Took off from Oklahoma City earlier today. We saw that flight land here at Salt Lake International around 2 o'clock this afternoon. Once again, that's the remainder of the team except for Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell. That plane landing as those players arrived back now with no basketball to play amid this COVID-19 outbreak. A little bit more background for you now. You'll remember it was last night, just before tip-off at the Chesapeake Energy Arena in Oklahoma City, where a doctor suddenly ran out and told officials that Gobert's test had come back positive for coronavirus. They abruptly canceled the game, making the announcement over the PA to send the teams to the locker room and send all the fans there home. Now, that started a domino effect throughout the National Basketball Association. A little bit later in the evening, they ended up suspending the season indefinitely. We're told it'll be at least 30 days before they are able to resume. The Jazz, with 18 games remaining in this season, 10 on the road and 8 scheduled for home. We see another live look here at Salt Lake International Airport where that plane has just landed. As Brittany said, there is a police SUV and an ambulance standing by, presumably to transport Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell. We're going to keep an eye on this, bring you the latest tonight on ABC4 News at 10, and continue to follow this breaking story. A number of cancellations and postponements throughout the state, all through the day. We will now return you to the regularly scheduled programming.